And we are coming down in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your host, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by
Mark.
Sheen Washable.
Nope.
The man of the mans of the dudes' souls.
And the Ratified Baron.
Meow. So Mass is just like MIA, huh? We have like no idea where he is.
Yeah, I mean, to our fault, we haven't told him where I'm, but we've done this show now for
He knows it starts at 8.
I
I could see him at like 8:05 not being on, being like, oh, I'm waiting for them to tell me. But at 8:30, like, you'd be like, hey, we're not doing this today?
Yeah.
He's sleeping. There's no way he's not.
Most likely.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do? Welcome to another episode of Getting Sports with Drunk on the PPRN Radio Network. We're live. We're here. We like deer. Deal with it. Starting lineups. Good.
From Peak Organic Brewing, I'm drinking the Winter IPA.
May or may not be non-alcoholic.
I had to look them up online. I found it.
It doesn't say it on the can, so I don't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, it's stupid that they wouldn't say that in the can, but it says 6.2%.
You probably just made that up.
I can show you.
No. Mock,
I have a Budweiser.
still working on the Clydesdales.
Nope. Fresh cans. Just more of them.
Just buy an IPA. I don't think you've drank a craft beer on the show in a year.
That's not true.
I can't remember the last time you had a craft beer on the show.
I had...
The last time you drank a beer here was Guinness.
I'll figure it out. But I have.
Kendall's shaking his head. No, you haven't.
He's having some Bud Classics.
Blood 55s. Souls?
I'm drinking from Trogs Independent Brewing, Double Blizzard IPA.
What can you tell me about the beer?
It is
He's not convinced that it is a beer.
8.3%. It's a hazy gold color. It's 16 fluid ounces.
When he picked up that beer, he goes, I really like this beer because everything I need to know about it is right in this little square. I am drinking from Berkshire Brewing Company, the Dandelion Haze. Suck it. I'm talking to you, Reed.
I think that's a cool name. I like that.
Get on your knees, blow Kyle. Now.
Whoa. This is a family show.
Toast of Excellence. Who wants to go first?
Oh, I do.
Okay.
All right, what's the most important thing you know about me and my toasts?
They're usually train related.
Well, besides that,
They're usually bad.
well, there's that too.
What jersey you want to talk about?
It's jerseys. Yes, new jerseys. No, for the 75th year for Jackie Robinson, all teams will be wearing the blue Dodger numbers, I believe, on the backs. So, pretty cool. Neat thing to do for the 75th year.
Mine is to Frank Gore for retiring officially. And he's going to retire as a member of the 49ers.
It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Mock.
My toast is to Bruce Arians for retiring again. But also, I mean, in the way that he did it. I don't know if you guys saw the statement he put out saying, he wanted to go out and kind of choose who follows him instead of, say the Bucks go out and kind of eat it this year, then it's an open position. He wanted to make sure that Bowles was his successor, so he decided to step down now to make that happen.
Conspiracy theory. He was getting canned. I mean, once Brady came back, he's like, I don't want this guy. All right. I got you. We don't normally do WWE toasts, but I'm going to do two of them. One is to the Undertaker getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. Arguably the greatest character of all time in the company history. And then also kind of sports related, but also WWE related, to Pat McAfee for fucking killing it at WrestleMania this weekend. He's
did a good job.
Previous All-Pro punter, now a full-time commentator for the WWE SmackDown, I believe, SmackDown team.
I think so, yeah.
And he wrestled a full match at WrestleMania, and he showed out. He did some good shit. Got stunnered.
Good sell too.
Yeah, it was a good sell.
He's a guy. He's just so charismatic. Like he could just do.
The charismatic had nothing to do with it. It was the full standing backflip off the top rope, sticking the landing without moving. That impressed
That's
me.
what I mean. Like he's obviously athletic, but he's also very charismatic. He's like the perfect like WWE
Well, to me, it's
like cameo guy.
Well, to me, it's super funny because like everyone kind of forgets he lost a lot of matches in NXT after he retired. He retired from football and went straight to the NXT to do a contract and was bad. So, I think that was all the ones I had. I probably had another one, but I don't remember what it was. Wait, Kendall, you leaving? Oh, I gotta whisper. I gotta whisper. He's whispering. So, we were going to go right into the bracket, but the guy who does the bracket left. So, Kyle.
Hello.
Baseball season's here.
Baseball season is here. Opening day is Thursday. For some teams, and some teams it's Friday.
Aren't a lot of teams... I thought everybody was playing Thursday.
No.
No? Oh.
Phillies play on Friday.
So you guys are... Some teams are just doing a straight right into the 3-day schedule, and then some are doing the 1-day off thing.
No. 4-game series.
Oh. Didn't it used to be... Weren't the Reds the only team that played the first game every year? Weren't the Reds the opening day game every year?
No. 1 year with the Red Sox and Yankees.
I don't know why, but I thought I remember hearing something like the Reds were the opening game.
Got to get those jerseys as much exposure.
I don't know what I'm thinking about.
Jerseys.
What?
There are 6 jerseys.
Yeah, it's the logo. It's Mr. Red, who's way better than Mr. Matt. Fact or fiction?
Facts. Mr. Matt is a joke.
So, Kyle, are you excited about the baseball season?
Yeah. Also because we're going to be there on Saturday.
Yep.
Okay. But, yeah. Very excited.
Just so articulate.
Go fuck yourself, bud.
But yeah.
But no. It's always exciting when baseball starts. I know a lot of people don't enjoy it early on, Michael, but I enjoy every game.
Yeah, that's called mental illness.
No, it's called being a true fan.
I can subscribe to that, though.
Mental illness thing?
Yeah,
or...
liking it. I mean, everyone's got their support. I don't give a fuck about September or October football. It means nothing. It means nothing to me.
And basketball doesn't matter till May?
Basketball doesn't matter till May. Hockey's pretty good all year.
But I just love baseball. It's just the one thing that really brings me happiness.
I think the thing I like about the baseball season is just that, a lot of teams can look like a playoff team for, decent stretches, but it really matters. It really does matter what you do all year. Because even in the NFL, it's a short season, but, you can go on a 6-game win streak to end the season out and make the playoffs. But, in baseball, if you're floundering, if you're just keeping your head above water all season, going on a 20-game winning streak isn't going to get you a playoff spot. Kyle?
I agree 100%. Sorry, my pick was up. No, yeah. Baseball is one of those sports where it's yes, there's so many games, but one thing could break or make your season. It could be early on in the year. It could be later on in the year. If, for instance, Mike Trout just stays healthy, the Angels are probably a playoff team this year.
Nah.
No, they are.
Nah.
It's also quite an if.
Well, as we see, once again, DeGrom will be missing some time again.
DeGrom and Scherzer. Scherzer's on the hurt too.
Yeah.
Well, that was coming.
Right. It's just a shame that, they couldn't even get to the regular season.
Well, because the Mets, Max Scherzer's 40 years old.
Right. And I think if the fans don't realize that, even like healthy and performance perhaps becomes an issue if they don't realize the guy is, he's not 26 years old. I think New York fans have to be.
He experienced some dead arm in the postseason last year, and I don't know how much of that. I don't know how he looked in spring training. Do you? I
mean, about the same. The media is always going to paint it up. They're going to highlight all the great stuff, and they're not going to mention any of the bad stuff. I'll tell you what, though, in simulated games, he's been rocked.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you take that with a grain of salt.
Well, spring training's tough because, a lot of people are just working on their, location and movement and just working on other pitches. So, ERAs are going to be high until, you're not going to really see what the pitcher had until the last two starts.
Right.
When it's finally starting putting everything together. Spring training is more for, the battle between who's going to play, second, and who's going to battling for second base, and the rookies that are trying to make the team, and stuff like that. That's why I think spring training is so exciting. Because I wouldn't be able to see Bryson Stott versus Alec Bohm without it.
Mm-hmm.
If it just went right into the season, Alec Bohm would be the starter. We'd never get to see Bryson Stott. For Oakland A's, not A's fans. Who was it? Royal fans. Bobby Wood Jr. made the team. He's he's the top 5 prospect in all of baseball. Without spring training, you don't get to see what he does. He starts the league in the minors. And you're missing on a lot of talent in the first month of the season.
You know what I love a lot about these set it and forget it leagues that we're doing?
What's that?
Fernando Tatis Jr. might go undrafted.
Is he still there?
He's still there, but he's out for a minimum of 3 months, maybe 5, with the wrist surgery.
That guy's injury prone.
Well, because he just had surgery on a fractured wrist in the middle of March, and they said that he said that he's pretty much guaranteed to miss 3 months. And so, you can't afford to take him in a set it and forget it because you can't alter anything.
Yeah, I'm going to stop picking after I pick my pitchers.
I already stopped.
You're going to auto draft it?
Just bench players. I can't change anything.
Right, but the bench players still count.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, then why have a bench?
All right, I'll pick.
Because Kyle forgot to turn the bench off.
No, it goes off of total points. The points just get added up at the end of the year, and it's whoever finishes. Dumbass. Because you can't do it in baseball. You can't do it based off total points. It has to be the category thing. Anyway, Kyle.
Yes, sir.
Hi.
Hello.
Anything else you want to talk about with baseball?
I
I have some stuff, but we got to wait for the stupid draft to end. That I forgot about.
It was funny. They come down the stairs, turn on Yahoo now, and I'm thinking to myself,
Draft's
why?
on.
Oh.
Okay, let's do your draft and we'll get back into baseball.
Yeah, we'll do your
Okay.
we'll do your song draft, and then we'll round it out with baseball. 'Cause that's what we wanted to do, but then you were like, "Oh, I gotta go take this phone call."
No, Rebecca.
It's the president of the United States.
So dramatic.
Honey, when will you be home? The chili's almost ready.
It's been cooking since last show.
No, that's your guys' sex talk. The chili is ready.
Oh my!
You pig. You're a pig.
Hey, I also want to bring up one thing about the Mets scandal.
Yes.
How everyone thinks that Chris Bassett is this big deal. This guy has sucked besides 1 year. I'm sorry. I'm not shitting on the Mets. I'm not.
God.
Pete Alonso's made more off the home run derby than he's made in his
But
career.
this guy has been rocked all spring.
Cut you're preaching to the choir here.
All right, I'm glad we're on the same page.
Mets are bad.
I mean, I've never been one of those Mets fans.
Have you ever considered that the Mets are bad because you're a fan of them?
I've considered that for all my, everything.
Because Logan, your friend Logan, he's a good fan. He goes down to Cactus League or Grapefruit League games.
Yeah, he used to voted. I give him a lot of credit.
You don't even watch them.
No, I don't.
You don't watch any of their games.
No, now that I have
No,
Apollo, I have a Snai.
you still don't watch.
I do.
You're a liar.
Last year, I was actually doing really well. I watched basically 3 games a week.
That's Fucked up, dude. There's 6.
God, well, I mean, if they're Monday, we're kind of SOL on that.
Why?
I fucking watch it.
You can put it on your screen right there.
Well, I'm trying to give my full attention to our show.
Fuck the show.
Wow. All right. The second round of the best song of 2004.
Also, what's the difference between your full attention and half attention? It's kind of the same.
You know, it has to do with, how aroused I am. That's the best song of 2004. We have Yeah by Usher going against Dirt Off Your Shoulder by Jay-Z.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Sorry, Jay.
Nah.
Not a big fan of Jay.
Okay. Tipsy by Jaquan versus Lean Back by the Terror Squad.
Tipsy.
I say Tipsy.
I'm going to go with Lean Back.
I will go Tipsy here.
All right. I can't wait for it to be a tie and we don't know what to do.
He won't let it be a tie.
Well, it's a bummer because I like both the songs. Massey would have made it interesting, but I don't know where
Massey
he is.
hasn't listened to either one of those songs.
Yeah, but he would just say something. Okay. Hotel versus Stand Up.
Hotel.
Hotel.
Hotel. Cleaning up. Okay. Slow Jams, Kanye Twista versus The Way You Move by Outkast.
Slow Jams.
Slow Jams advances.
Got some Marvin Gaye.
Some Luther Vandross.
Just a little Anita. Okay.
Everybody's...
Those aren't the words.
All right. Holiday Inn versus On Fire.
Holiday Inn.
Yeah. Chilling at the Holiday Inn.
Anything with
On
Snoop
Fire.
Dogg and Ludacris. Big fan.
I'm sorry, I can't let Lloyd Banks advance any further than he already has.
Yeah, but
No?
you would vote Lil Flip this far.
I would not. I'm not as much of a fan, even though he's from Houston.
You're a penis.
I am. Why by Jadakiss versus Drop It Like It's Hot.
Drop it like it's hot.
It's like it's hot.
It's funny. I just wrote Drop It's and it really threw me off. Drop It Like It's Hot.
It's. Drop it.
Okay.
Drop it.
Now we had one of the play-ins from 2003 advance. So we have Get Low versus Into Club.
Which
Say
one's
Get Low.
Which one's Get Low?
That's that famous song Get Low by
Dum dum dum.
by the.
To the window, to the wall.
Oh, okay. To the sweat drip down my balls.
See, you know it.
That one.
I'm going to go with Indie Club.
And so, and what'd you say, Mark?
I said Get Low.
He said he can't answer.
And you said
I said Get Low.
And I said the other one. Do you
No,
need everyone to repeat with it?
no,
Jeez,
no. I'm just
Louise.
trying to see
Really
what I would
dragging this
decide.
out.
All right, Get Low advances. All right, and then 203 play-ins. Ignition
That one.
remix versus Unwell.
Ignition remix.
Can we just advance Ignition Remix all the way to the end?
Listen, we can't have the 2003 song be the best song from 2004.
We can if it's better than all the songs from 2004.
Listen, I will accept that.
I
Okay,
got a steal coming.
from the top 40 selections, we have
Oh, you're back on the Alec Bomb train now?
No.
we have Burn
Yes.
versus She Will Be Loved.
Burn.
I'm going Maroon 5.
I'm going to go with Burn.
Burn as well. I do not care for Maroon 5.
Yeah, second mark.
Okay. Toxic by Miss Spears versus Hey Ya.
Hey, yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
Sorry, Brittany. Bitch.
That wasn't nice.
It wasn't. I apologize. Okay. We have Naughty Girl versus This Love.
no, like Naughty Girl, like
Beyonce.
Like
Naughty Girl.
You like that pick, Paul?
No.
This Love.
It's not a steal. Because he's only going to play 30 games.
That's good
No,
for him.
it's not, because he's gonna hit every start and get hurt.
Souls, Naughty Girl versus This Love.
This love.
Well, I can't go against my previous statement. Naughty Girl advances.
No, it doesn't. That's a tie.
That's a tie.
I have final say.
I'm thinking of a number.
I'll just flip. This is Naughty Girl. All right, the other one of the Maroon 5 song advances.
Son of a bitch. I'm writing in pencil.
Hey, can somebody just text Mass, make sure he's alive?
I text the group chat.
No, but text him individually. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
He texted you to pick up my beer.
Okay.
Yeah, which is weird.
It's My Life versus Breakaway.
It's my life.
Breakaway.
Breakaway.
Now or never.
Breakaway advances. Okay, from the rock country category. The Reason versus Breaking the Habit.
The reason.
Breaking the habit.
Breaking the habit.
I will do Breaking the Habit as well.
Why don't you just tell me that you hate me?
I like you a lot.
Ooh, mock picking Phillies on triple picks.
Okay.
Ah,
Numb versus My Immortal.
My Immortal.
My immortal.
My
tough
Immortal.
one. I'm going
The Creed song, My Immortal.
My Immortal, Kyle, is Evanescence.
Oh. I'm going the other one.
Does that mean Numb advance? Is that what happened?
I don't know, you're the host.
Okay, we have Remember When versus Someday.
Someday.
remember when.
I'll wake me up when September ends.
No.
So someday. That's by Nickelback, right?
No.
Oh, Kyle. Oh, that dog of mine.
I will say Someday advances. I do like Remember When, but I don't know.
No, justify it. Go ahead.
It's just, I don't know. Too slow. Meant to Live versus Here Without You.
Oh, Here Without You,
Here
baby.
without you.
Here without you.
I'm here,
Here
without,
without
you, baby.
All right. Are we keep going with this, or are we going show by show?
Just keep going, dude.
Okay. I can tell you guys think this is trash.
No, it's not that, but it's April now.
Yeah versus Tipsy.
Yeah.
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 Hotel versus Slow Jams.
Slow jams.
Hey, should I take Crone or Cronenworth?
Hotel.
One place in Colorado.
So Crone.
There you go.
Sorry, I missed the pick.
Hotel versus Slow Jams. I think Hotel has 2 picks.
Slow James.
I said slow jams.
Oh, you said Slow Jams? God.
Why don't you fucking pay attention?
I'm taking Slow Jams, and it advances. Holiday Inn versus Drop It Like It's Hot.
Drop it like
Drop it like it's hot. I mean, Holiday Inn is good, but Drop it like it's hot's better. Plus, Pharrell kills it.
Drop It's Hot. Okay. Get Low versus Ignition.
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 Yellow.
Now, usually I don't do this, but
That was a terrible thing you just did.
it sure was.
That was bad.
and for
Go
that
drink
reason,
some mouthwash.
and for that reason, Ignition advances.
You're a piece of shit.
From the top 40 category, Burn versus Hey Ya.
Hey,
Hey,
sorry, Mr. Jackson.
ooh.
Mock?
Hey, yeah.
Hey Ya.
Hey,
Oh, oh.
All right. This Love versus Breakaway.
Breakaway.
This love.
Flying. We'll go with
That's neither of these songs.
yeah, but I know the words.
Breakaway is the one that goes, "It's my life."
Breakaway.
Yeah, Breakaway when September ends.
There we go. I like that one. I want that one.
Souls bringing the heat.
Solo by Jason Derulo.
I like how Massey said I'm going to go listen to that song and then never responded. Pretty much ever.
All right, breakaway advances.
Was that the last text he sent?
He texted me about 30 minutes before the show asking me to buy Kyle his beer today.
Okay, we have
And I bought it.
from Rock Country, Breaking the Habit versus Numb.
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 I do like Numb.
Number. I can't believe Chumbawamba's not in here.
All right, we have Someday versus Here Without You.
Here without you.
I think I'm picking Here Without You as well.
Here without you. Kyle?
Here without you, baby.
All right.
The karaoke show you didn't know you needed.
We have Yeah going against Slow Jams.
Slow Jams.
Yeah.
Slow jams.
Twista verse.
The whole song is good.
Slow Jams upsets the number one.
What number was Slow Jams?
Slow Jams was 16.
That was a 16 seed.
How did a 16 seed go up against a 1 seed this late?
No,
You didn't do it right?
because I had to shift. I shifted it in the. They have a rap category, and yeah,
So we're in the final four?
we will be soon. Rap takes up 2 categories. Now we have Drop It Like It's Hot versus Ignition Remix.
Ignition remix.
Drop it like it's hot.
I'm going to go Drop It Like It's Hot just because it's an actual 04 song.
Drop It Like It's Hot.
Man, you didn't even fucking guess. You soft bitch.
Guess what?
You didn't even answer.
Kyle, I picked Drop It Like It's Hot.
You're a soft bitch.
Kyle, I like both those songs.
You're a soft bitch.
You're like, guess what?
SAWFT.
Soft.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey Yeah
Hey, yeah.
versus Breakaway.
Hey, yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
Yeah.
Hey, yeah might win the whole thing.
It should.
Hey Ya.
It's going to be close.
Okay.
I'm really bummed that Hey, yeah and I'm blanking. We've said that name 100 times. The Twista song.
Slow
Slow
Jams?
Jams. I'm mad that they can't go against each other in the finals. I'm also mad that he made Slow Jams and Overnight Celebrity go up against each other so early. Like a fucking prick.
There was a lot of like same artists go against each other.
and like you did that. Like, it's so mean. There's people that advanced for no reason.
Listen, it made it interesting. We have Numb.
If you had put both Twista songs against both Maroon 5 songs, Maroon 5 wouldn't even be in this anymore. You did this to yourself.
Listen.
I think when you go home, you should jerk off to Nick Jonas.
Oh my God.
I know he's not part of Maroon 5, but
I mean, I will.
All right. Good on you, Souls.
I'll fall on that sword for you, buddy.
Numb
you need me to
versus
take care of Harry Styles too? I got it.
Numb versus Here Without You.
Here without you. Kyle, what are you
Without
voting for?
I'm here without you.
Here Without You advances. All right, the final 4. Slow Jams versus Drop It Like It's Hot.
Slow Jams.
Drop it like it's hot.
Kyle.
Drop it like it's hot. No, I'm just kidding. Slow Jams.
I prefer Slow Jams versus Drop It Like It's Hot.
Yeah, you fucking rat.
I'll have you know that when Sirius XM
Threaten
Fly
me.
plays,
Threaten me. I dare you.
plays
I dare you.
Drop It Like It's Hot, a lot of times I will see what else is on. I like the song, but I hear it a lot. So there you go.
What did we just argue about?
Nothing.
We just answered the same.
Absolutely.
Kendall basically admitted that his relationship name for his penis is Chumbawamba.
Go ahead, you fucking Frank.
Hey Ya versus Here Without You.
Hey,
Hey, yeah.
Oh man, it's gonna be Hey, yeah versus Slow Jams. I cannot
Bum,
vote.
bum,
I
bum.
cannot vote.
Hey,
I really hope the 3 of you all vote for the same thing, so I don't have to be part of it.
Slow Jams is my answer.
Fuck, Mark's not voting for Slow Jams, so I gotta vote.
We better just call Massey. For him to be like, one of those songs?
Right? Well, if it ends in a tie, I know the perfect person to call.
All right.
Samantha. She loves both songs.
Chris
so.
Jankowski.
No, I don't want to call him because I don't have 3 hours to kill.
But you see what Biden did?
You know I could beat you in a race, right?
I'm going to hit him in the fucking hip.
It's still very funny because he still talks to me about that threat, the competition I promised to him about disc golf, and I'll still smoke him. It was so funny when we had him on the phone. Do you remember that? You were pretty fucked up on James Norwich at that point. Remember when Larry
called him?
Yeah. We were making fun of how he was the only person in history to get sent down in wiffle, so Larry called him to break his balls.
I remember that.
And he was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And then and then Larry said that I could smoke him at disc golf. And he goes, well, I'm a superior athlete. And Larry goes, hey, athleticism has nothing to do with it, bud. And so Chris couldn't take no. So I told him that I'd give him one of my bags and a full supply of discs and give him a year to practice, and I will smoke him. And I'm not going to let it go.
I mean, really, I think any of us would.
Okay,
well, not with a year of practice. I don't think Kendall's smoking him after a year of practice.
But he's smoking his beanbag.
What?
Don't talk about it.
All right, so Heya versus Slow James. Kendall, no offense to you, but you're never going to throw farther than you throw now.
No, I don't expect to.
It's just amazing. I've never met anybody who's met their peak strength out of the gate.
I got more in the tank.
So funny. Kyle got a practice basket for his birthday. He's had it for 3 days now. We were talking today, and he goes, yeah, I'm already really good at putting. I was like, that's all it took? He goes, yeah, that's all it took. I'm good now. It's just so funny.
Threw 6 putts.
No, I've been
left the basket in the rain. I'm good to go.
I'm doing 200 putts a day.
He said
200 a day.
I give him credit because he calls. So because when you assemble the basket, the chains on most of the baskets come attached to the top. And so you have to there's a ring that you have to put the pole through. And Kyle, he's never built the basket, so he put the pole in, and the ring wasn't through. So he calls me and he goes, this isn't right, and FaceTimes me. And the chains were all fucked up. I'm like, you gotta put that ring through. And he goes, okay. So then he puts the ring through it. But I mean, he got the basket. We were at dinner. We left the restaurant at 7:30. He was FaceTiming me by 8:05 with it pretty much put together in his dining room. I was actually very surprised. Watermelon bag, he's like, watermelon bag's already set. I'm good to go. Kyle actually got a round in with the watermelon bag.
I did.
He played a round at Loughbury this weekend.
Ooh.
Nice.
I played okay. I putt well, though. Maybe a 40-footer. Fucking hole 14, though. Gets me every goddamn time. Can't fucking do it.
Well, the putting on that is the easy part. It's getting there. That sucks.
I had it across the fucking ravine. I had it across, and I hit a tree and went...
I hate when my disc makes that noise. I really got to get the muffler changed on most of my discs.
Did you try tightening underneath?
All right, who won, though?
All right. You voted for Slow Jams.
Yeah. How about what did you vote for?
I voted for Slow Jams.
Mark, what did you vote for?
Hey,
Paul, what did you vote for? Pick a number 1 through 3.
So, who has the unfair advantage? Slow Jams?
Pick 1 through 3.
What if we don't vote for this? What if I just call Samantha and make her pick?
Hey, listen, I would appreciate an outside perspective.
Well, here's the thing, Paul. You have to vote for Heya to make it a tie to call Samantha.
That's true.
But the better song is Slow Jams.
It's also true. Kind of. I don't know. It's tough. Heya is just great because it that's one of those songs where you could be in a really bad mood and you hear it and you're not in a bad mood anymore. It's a very good song. It's very uplifting and stuff like that. Slow Jams has all that soul to it, and the fast rap is good. The Kanye verse is good.
Jamie Foxx is in it.
Yeah, you're hurting it. Jamie Foxx sucks.
Watch your tone.
Oh, I'm sorry. Jamie Foxx sucks.
Hey,
is that a better tone?
Paul, Mark, can you guys accept that invite real quick?
To what? The Wednesday thing?
Yeah.
No. I'm gonna go with Slow Jams.
Slow Jams is the best song, in our opinion, from 2004. Thank you for your participation.
You're welcome. It was good.
Hey, I think of something almost all the time during our show. You guys ever see the episode of The Office where they do the paper airplane contest?
Yeah.
And how early on everyone's really into it. And then by the end, everyone's just ready for it to be over.
Yes.
That happens a lot to us.
Yeah, disc golf is the only thing we actually kept going and being happy with.
Nah, I'm pretty over it.
I got a dinosaur suitor.
What?
I got a dinosaur shooter. Pachoo, pachoo.
All right. All right. So baseball, right?
Baseball.
See, baseball, senor.
All right. So I had this thing. Do I still have it up?
Nobody did that, huh? Nobody caught that.
Shut up.
Hey, tell your fucking two goons to fucking accept that invite.
All right, I'll let him
Now.
know again. Go.
They're the ones that wanted me to fucking do it so bad, so tell them
All
to
right, so
fucking
let's read. I want to read the 2022 MLB season preview, power rankings, playoff odds, and everything you need to know for all 30 teams. I'm not reading all 30 teams. I'm going to read our teams, though, and see what your guys' opinions are.
Just read all 30. We got time.
No, we don't. Not for that. So we're going to start with the New York Yankees. All right. So, is that Mass?
No, I don't know what that was.
Projected record, 94-68, with an 85.6% chance of making the playoffs. If everything goes right, the 30-something core of Aaron Judge, Stanton, Donaldson, Hicks, and LeMahieu all remain healthy, and combined with Gallo's huge season, the Yankees return to being an offensive powerhouse. The infield defense is much improved, helping Garrett Cole win his first Cy Young Award. They finally get past the Astros in the postseason and reach their first World Series since 2009, and Cole takes World Series MVP honors with his Game 7 shutout. That's like if everything was perfect. Weaknesses. Run prevention seems to be the key to New York season. Team defense looks better, though a plus defensive center fielder would be nice. Bullpen looks devastating, and the rotation looks strong. If they can get enough innings from their best arms behind Cole, I read that wrong, but you get it. And injuries. And then it said most likely 2022 award winner. Judge has played in more than 145 games twice, in 2017 when he finished second in MVP voting, and in 2021 when he finished fourth. At full health, Judge, who turns 30 in late April, is always a legitimate MVP challenger. That might especially be the case in 2022, his last before free agency. And one realistic bold prediction, Cole does win the Cy Young Award. In fact, he wins the pitching triple crown, leading the AL in wins, ERA, and strikeouts. And they have predictions for those at 19 wins, a 2.76 ERA, and 261 strikeouts. Thoughts?
Man, I tell you, you just gave me a nice fluff. Let me tell you, we're talking full mass.
So my thing is with that, like, Yankees are mostly injury prone. Stanton and Judge. I mean, Judge was healthy last year, but he's known to have a few injuries throughout the season. Am I wrong to say that, Mark?
No, he gets hurt.
All right. So Stanton and Judge always get hurt. I do think Cole will be good, but I don't really trust 2 through 4. Montgomery is not your typical number 2. Severino's just coming back off the Tommy John. We don't know how he's going to be. Nestor Cortez was a nice story last year, but I think teams will figure him out because he only throws like 88 to 90. And then there's one more. Who am I missing? Mark, who am I missing?
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
And the power rankings before this have the Yankees listed at 6th.
I do disagree. I think they have a good center fielder in Aaron Hicks. I think he's a good defender. He just strikes out way too fucking much.
They have Nestor Cortez as the 5.
I said him.
And then Jameson Taillon.
There we go. Taillon's okay. But he struggled hard last year.
All right. On to the Mets. At number 8 in the power rankings, projected record 87-75, 58.2% playoff odds. If everything goes right, first word in that is sorry. Sorry, Mets fans, it's already going wrong with the news that DeGrom will miss significant time, so that leaves it up to Max Scherzer to stay healthy and dominate and hope DeGrom can return in the second half and perform like he did in the first half of 2021. Otherwise, how about Lindor and McNeil rebounding from rough seasons at the plate, Nimmo posting a 400 OBP, and Pete Alonso leading the league in home runs? Nobody can touch Scherzer and DeGrom in the postseason, and the Mets throw a ticker tape parade shredding actual dollar bills from Steve Cohen's vault. Weaknesses. Well, DeGrom is already a weakness. Without him, the Mets are going to need a good number of innings from starters beyond their projected core rotation, so their depth options need to come through. David Peterson and Taylor Megill need to soak up quality frames when called upon, because it doesn't look like New York is a team that can be carried by its bullpen. The star power rotation is undeniable if DeGrom can return, but it's going to take more than the stars for the Mets to emerge in a crowded NL playoff derby. Most likely a 2022 award winner. What looked to be like the best rotation duo in the sport took a serious blow on the 1st of April, but Max Scherzer, dealing with what seems like a relatively minor hamstring issue, remains as good as ever. The 37-year-old right-hander boasted a 1.98 ERA and 11 to 13 strikeout walk ratio in 11 regular season starts for the Dodgers down the stretch last season, and should push for his 4th Cy Young award this year. And one realistic bold prediction: unfortunately, DeGrom and Scherzer both miss significant time, and Bassett ends up leading the Mets in both wins and innings pitched.
You go first, Kendall.
So I mean, it seems like every year
The Mets suck.
And the opening sentence, if. And once again, we're faced with that again. It's disappointing. DeGrom is going to be out again, miss significant time. But if Scherzer can play and be good, not even great, be good, having them two together, it's a bonus. Having these two on paper really great starters, it's a bonus. DeGrom goes down, Scherzer can play well, then it's like having that bona fide ace still, and just, see if the later part of the rotation can kind of hold their own. I think for me, it's the new ownership. It's basically, hey, it's a guy with a big checkbook. Let's make some noise and be exciting. It's like a kid. Let's see how much money I can spend. It's gonna be tight. I think the NL East is gonna be really close. No matter which way you shape it up, I think all these teams are gonna be within 4 and 5 wins when all is said and done. I don't know if the Mets were not going to be the number one in my mind anyway. I think they're still we're going to be the 2-3 in that division. But I also kind of had a feeling that 3 teams kind of had the potential to kind of like make the playoffs. I'm excited. I think the lineup can possibly make some noise. It's kind of odd. It's a lot of some old guys like Cano is still involved in some shape or form. I think there's a lot of hope with guys like Starling Marte. Is he going to be? He's going to be dominant. Is Pete Alonso going to play well? What do you do? Is Dominic Smith going to be traded? Is he?
I watched your preseason game yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Starling Marte dropped the fly ball in foul territory.
Perfect.
Then he laughed about it. The camera focusing on him, and somebody, who's your center fielder?
I thought Marte was their center field.
No, he was playing right.
Nimmo?
I mean, I don't know. If you're playing center field and you're dropping a fly ball in the right foul territory.
Nimmo would be bad, but I don't know if he's hurt.
I don't know. Whoever was playing center field, though, said something to him, and, you couldn't hear what he said or anything. But then Starling Marte just said, it's spring training, relax.
For me, I think no matter what, even if DeGrom was healthy, the Mets' best outcome was second place. That's just kind of my feeling. Behind
the Nationals, right?
No, definitely not the Nationals.
Yeah, you know what? We said that a few years ago, and they won. So
it's true.
The Braves still.
I think the Braves. Still.
So you're saying Phillies third place?
I think honestly, I think the Phillies are third place, but I think that when all is said and done, the Mets and Phillies are only separated by 2 games. I think it's to be close all the way through.
All right. Mark, anything else to add for the other New York team?
It's the Yankees go in every year with high expectations, and it's hard to get frustrated because they make the playoffs every year. So it's hard to be like, well, what the fuck? But something's got to give it. The Red Sox keep bringing in more and more high-powered free agents, and they can't get over this hump. So something's got to break at some point.
We're talking about the Mets, bud.
Oh, I thought you were saying the other,
No, I meant the other as in the Mets.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I was so confused for a second. I'm like, when you started saying it, I was like, is this a segue into being oh, but the Mets have all these expectations then fail?
First and
I thought he was
foremost,
going into I thought he was going into throwing some shade at Kendall.
the Yankees play in New York.
Then he said the Red Sox, and I'm like, What's going on here?
Confused. No, I mean the Mets are going to have a great May.
They're going to have the best Justin Timberlake season
Luckily,
of all
the
time.
season goes through September. I don't know. I think Kendall hit it pretty well where, the Mets always have these big splash moves and they bring guys and it just doesn't materialize.
Hi, Massey. I'm sorry if I got you yelled at.
Yeah, I honestly forgot what time it was and what day it was and what plane of existence I'm on.
Well, Massey, take it from us. Go rest.
I'm already up and I'm on the go.
I went above his head and I texted his wife. I was
Did you?
because we hadn't heard from you, so I wanted to make sure you were okay. So I just wanted to make sure nothing bad happened because usually you texted me a half hour before the show hey, get Kyle his beer, and then hey, has anybody heard from Mass? No, not at all.
So
Kendall,
continue bashing the Mets.
I'm
Real
not
quick.
going to be a jerk here.
Real quick, I love that St. Louis Yankees sweatshirt. All right, sorry.
It's my warmest one.
Souls, please continue.
I do think the Mets rotation's a little overrated. I know they have DeGrom and Scherzer, and yes, when they're healthy, they're the best two in the game. But after those two, I don't trust Walker and I don't trust Bassett. I know Bassett's coming off a career year, but he's 30-plus years old, and he hasn't been that great. Carrasco can be very good, but he's also very injury-prone, and
Oh, Massey, Slow Jams won Best Song 2004. Rock on. Sorry, Kyle. I'm just trying to fill in Mass. Massey takes an interest in what goes on in the show, so I just want to make sure. I'm sorry, Kyle.
that's fine.
Kyle.
I'm listening.
Oh, Massey, we'll also we'll let you know what your auto-drafted MLB set it and forget it team was. All right, let's move on to the Phillies, 13th in the power rankings.
All right, go ahead.
Projected record 89-73. Oh, you weren't done?
No, go ahead.
If you want to finish, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All right. Projected record 89-73 with a 67% chance of making the playoffs. If everything goes right, the Phillies set a modern, since 1901, franchise record for runs scored with Harper, Castellanos, Schwarber combining for 115 home runs. Luckily, the pitching is better than that 1930 team that scored 944 runs and lost 102 games. Zach Wheeler is fine after his shoulder issue in spring training. Aaron Nola pitches on his 2021 FIP. I don't know what that means. Rather than his ERA, and Ranger Suarez has an ERA double all the way up to 2.72. Surprise of surprises. Corey Nebel locks down the ninth inning, and defense is merely meh rather than all-time awful. And the Phillies edge past the Braves and Mets for their first NL East title and playoff berth since 2011. Man, so you guys so far are the first ones where your best-case scenario is not winning the World Series.
Yeah, I see that.
Two things. One, FIP or fielding independent pitching is a metric designed to give us information about pitchers, measures events that are directly under the pitcher's control, strikeouts, walks, and home runs.
All right.
And number two, can I give a late toast of excellence?
You can.
Toast of excellence to Souls for dinner tonight. Thank you for my enchiladas, buddy.
Ha! 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 Guy's on his deathbed and still raking in the jokes. Good for you, Mass.
Can I tell you, I heard that and I was like, this son of a bitch, I wasn't invited.
Weaknesses. Defense has been widely written is a potential Achilles heel for a lineup that should be above average offensively. With Schwarber and Castellanos likely sharing duty in the outfield corners, there seems to be little hope for the Phillies to be plus defensively there. But the infield could be bolstered by the ascension of shortstop prospect Bryson Scott. Scott might ascend, but it may not be at shortstop. At this spring, there has been little inclination to turn Didi Gregorius into a utility player or slide him into another spot, despite some hairy defensive metrics in a recent season. All of Gregorius' time in the field this spring has come at shortstop. I think that's pretty much what we kind of expected it to be. Most likely award winner.
It's wrong. Bryson Stott's played a lot of third.
It didn't say he played a lot of shortstop.
Oh, didn't.
It said Didi has played nothing but shortstop.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're saying that Scott.
Say you're sorry, Kyle.
They're saying Stott.
I do apologize.
They're saying Stott should be the shortstop. It'd be easy to go with Harper, the reigning NL MVP, but we're going to pick Wheeler to finish second in NL Cy Young Award voting after what was seen as a breakout 2021 season when he posted a 2.78 ERA while leading the NL in innings and strikeouts. But Wheeler has operated at a similar level for a while. Only 3 pitchers have compiled more F-WAR than him since 2018: DeGrom, Scherzer, and Garrett Cole. One realistic, bold prediction: Harper, Castellanos, and Schwarber each hit 40 home runs, making them the 4th team with 3 players to hit 40, joining the 1973 Braves, 96 Rockies, and 97 Rockies. Thoughts?
Well, they're going to be bad defensively. We already knew that. But I do think the offense is going to be historically good. And, because no matter how you put it, you're going to have either... Schwarber is already going to lead off. They already said that. But either Gene or Reese is going to bat second, or Gene or Reese is going to bat 7th. Either way, that's a really good 7-hitter. They're just going to see fastballs. And you have to pitch to Bryce Harper now. Because Nick Castellanos is a very good bat. He's an all-star level designated hitter, you know?
Phillies are still going to lose every Sunday, though.
Yeah. But,
because, Realmuto doesn't play on Sundays. Jesus needs his presence.
But, I do think their starting rotation top 10 in the league. You have Kyle Gibson as your 4, and he's a 3 on anybody else. Ranger Suarez, if he could do half of what he did last year, that's amazing. He had a 1.7 ERA last year. You can't ask. We know he's not going to do that again. He's a strike thrower, and he had relies on a boom. He's a lefty. Phillies haven't had a good lefty starter since Cole Hamels. And then, Zach
Wait, left-handed starter or good left-handed starter?
Wait, left-handed
starter.
Since
then
who?
not Cole Hamels.
Since Cole Hamels.
Cole Hamels wasn't good.
Yes, he was.
He was.
Since who?
Cole Hamels.
There you go.
But, and we have Zach Eflin, who just throws strikes. And
I'm a huge fan of how Massey has been part of this group the shortest amount of time and calls you out the most on, the actual pronunciation of words, because you're Mr. Grenbens, and Massey's like, no, you want to speak like this? You do it all the time.
Well, especially Cole Hamlet. That's a real...
It's like the less common of the group. Soul said Grenbens for dinner.
Oh.
But I think the offense is going to be insane. And I don't... They've had trouble with Scherzer in the past. I don't really think it's going to be... I think they're going to struggle, but I think they'll get 2 or 3 runs off.
Now that I'm thinking about it, it also threw me off when Massey said thank you to Kyle for dinner, because I was like, wait a minute. I made Kyle. Kyle ate dinner at my house. I made him dinner. How the hell? I was like, what happened? Kyle dropped a piece of primer on the floor.
Oh.
But I ate it.
No, he didn't.
I had a piece.
I think we got to wrap this show up.
No, we saved it. I saved it. So I'm just going to cut it up and make it into a steak and cheese omelet, so I don't give a fuck what was on the... as long as it didn't land in dog shit, and even then, you can wash that off.
Absolutely.
But
crust it up.
But I don't know. I think the bullpen's going to be better than last year.
I mean...
It's not hard.
I was going to say, what do you mean?
I think Knievel was a very good closer.
Evil?
Knievel. He's had closer experience, and he's had successful closer experience.
Give me a beer.
I do so.
So he was the closer in Milwaukee before Hader became the closer.
Kendall's the farthest from the beers.
I'll take one too, Kenny.
Massey's actually looking for one too, if you don't mind.
Massey, I'll be there in 40 minutes.
There's no way you get there in 40 minutes.
Do I think the Phillies win the division? No, but I do think they make the playoffs this year.
All right. Does anybody have anything they'd like to add to the Phillies?
500.
You think they're a 500 team? For real?
Year in, year out, they're 500.
I do think that's a bolder statement this year. I think that's a bolder prediction this year. So because they did add a lot of offensive prowess.
No, they did. 500.
No, you're a jerk. All I said was the Yankees' rotation's not that great.
And he replied with your team's not that great.
What, Mickey Moniak, though, this spring? Will continue? No.
Here's what I think you do, Kyle.
That's a made-up name,
I think you
right?
take this to the next level.
No, it's a real guy.
You take this to the next level. Next time Mock's not home, you go take all his Lunas and you just throw them into a brick wall as hard as you can.
I want to own a Luna, but at the same time, I don't.
I mean, you don't really throw putters, so...
That's true.
And I mean, Mock's a religious Luna guy, but like I don't like putting with Lunas.
I'm here for it.
I like throwing Lunas, but I don't like putting with them. All right, what's your take on the Phillies here?
I think the offense will be formidable. But I think, like I said before, I think the Mets and Phillies right now at this stage in the game are more similar than not. And I think for both teams, and the Mets historically have a bigger history of this, but I think a couple injuries in this lineup will be really detrimental. Sometimes injuries on a team, and you can kind of muscle through. I just have this feeling because of all these, these big bats, it's not going to necessarily translate to like, oh, well, these guys will take over. I think it's going to kind of be an all or nothing. I think one or two guys go down for a significant amount of time, and I think it's going to really hurt.
I agree with you, but honestly, as long as Bryce Harper stays healthy, the lineup will be just fine. Like, I know I fucking hated that guy. I said I hated that guy, even though I really didn't hate that guy. He was just a national. Okay? There you go, Mock. But Bryce Harper's a top 10 talent. And when he's on, there's nobody better. If he stays healthy, if he stays, honestly, I think if he stays healthy, I think the lineup will be just fine.
We forgot a toast of excellence.
Did that one make Kyle giggle?
It did.
We forgot a toast of excellence, like a very important one.
What?
To the newest honorary member of the group,
Larry?
Baby Donovan.
Oh yeah,
Larry.
Patrick had a baby.
Yes, congratulations to Patrick. I mean, he's only been on the show a couple times, but he's a member of our group, and we honor him all the same.
Yeah.
To Patrick Donovan for welcoming in Baby Donovan. A day early, too, which only helps his case for Philadelphia.
He's trying so hard.
He is. He's trying so hard. Renee was like, stop telling him to ask me. Like,
I was laughing because I called him yesterday and we're talking. And I was like, so what's going on with Philly? He's like, I got a really dirty look when I brought it up. Like, it's not looking good.
Even Jeff talked to him about it. And Jeff was like, dude, just change every diaper without her asking. Like, just do everything you can this week.
Like, dude, it's a weekend.
But that's just it. What are you going to miss? It's already taken its first shit. It ain't doing anything else. I mean, what are you going to miss? What are you going to miss? Her first swallowing her own vomit? You could pass on that. All right, St. Louis Cardinals. Projected record 81-81 with a 30% chance of making the playoffs. If everything goes right, it's 2011 all over again with the reunion of Pujols, Molina, and Wainwright.
They're so old.
When Molina turns 40 in July, it will mark one of the only times where all three stars of a team are 40 and older. It somehow works mostly thanks to Goldschmidt, Arenado, and O'Neill topping last year's 96 combined home runs and each winning a Gold Glove. The bullpen dominates, and Dylan Carlson hits 300 in a breakout sophomore season, but the big key is Wainwright, Mikolas, and Matz, each making 30 starts to stabilize the rotation. The Brewers' offense falters, and the Cardinals win the division, and anything can happen in October when you wear a Cardinal on your jersey.
That couldn't be
Goddamn right.
more right. It hurts.
Left Texans and the Cardinals in the playoffs.
Big fan of the weaknesses that could stop them. Let's face it, they're 100. There are questions about the rotation, especially in terms of depth, but let's step beyond roster concerns and just pose this question. What if it was a mistake to fire Mike Schilt?
Yeah.
This isn't a knock.
Sorry.
This isn't a knock against Oliver Marmol, who, for all we know, will provide to be Billy Southworth, Whitey Herzog, and Tony La Russa all rolled into one. But if there's a certain amount of if there's a certain amount of if it ain't broke, don't fix it, that ought to be baked into the decision-making of teams, then you should have to wonder because the Cardinals won with Schilt and arguably overachieved in doing so. 2022 most likely award winner, Arenado won his 9th consecutive Gold Glove, made his 6th All-Star team, and belted 34 home runs in 2021. Yet he left that season wholly disappointed. The reason, a 254 batting average over the past 2 years, 41 points lower than his career average leading into the COVID-shortened 2020 season. It prompted mechanical tweaks that involved changing the positioning of his hands to make him quicker to the ball. It's always smart to bet on Arenado, who turns 31 this month. If those adjustments help, he should make another run at NL MVP. And one realistic prediction, the three old guys look their age, the rotation crumbles, the big three hit 76 home runs instead of 96, and the Cardinals finish under 500 for the first time since 2007.
All right. Mass, you want to say something or want me to go? Okay. I personally,
Look, can I just take the reins on this one?
yeah. Go
I
ahead.
can't handle Massey winning another championship. This needs to not work. That's just where it goes. I can't handle it. I cannot handle it. I can't fucking do it. I said my piece. Go on. You can talk real baseball now.
The problem is that it will work because they're all on the Cardinals. The only thing that scares me is the rotation. Because Matz has been lit up a lot. Kendall knows. Wainwright's 40. He won't have the same season he had last year. Mikolos struggled a little bit last year. Who the fuck is in the back end of that rotation?
Hey guys.
I think it's the State Farm guy. What's up?
But I do think they have enough.
He was trying to talk, man.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear
What,
you.
Mass?
I got COVID.
Nice. I already knew that.
I did too, but I hadn't tested positive yet.
No, I knew it. Your wife told me.
I hadn't tested positive yet.
She's your wife. She's right. Deal with it.
Anyways,
Dakota Hudson is their 5.
okay. But I do think Arenado and Taylor O'Neill and Tommy Edman, Harrison Bader, like they're statistically the best defensive outfield in all of baseball, and I do think that helps them. Actually, they're probably the best statistical defense in baseball.
Yeah.
Right then and there, they'll win you at least 10 more games.
Despite like the average age, it's a really good team. It just is.
Yeah, they're not splashy, but they do the right things. Like Goldschmidt will hit for power. He hasn't been Arizona Goldschmidt since he's been there.
No, but the production is still there. Like he's just not. Yeah, he's just not hitting home runs.
But like, he's still very good. Arenado still very good. You know, Pujols is just the leader of in veteran, so that's gonna help. O'Neill fucking jacked as fuck. Molina, god damn, they're so good defensively.
I don't think this team will be playing in the World Series, but I think this will not be like a disaster, like end of a dynasty. Like I think these guys will play well and they'll win some games that matter.
Yeah,
Do you guys?
they've all been there before.
Do you want to hear the White Sox?
Yeah.
All right. White Sox are 4th on the power rankings. Projected record 93-69 with an 85.5% playoff odds. If everything goes right, the White Sox won 93 games in 2021 despite being injured all season long. This year, Luis Robert, who hit .338, .378, and .567 last season in 68 games, stays healthy and joins the MVP fray. Eloy Jimenez also stays healthy and surpasses his 31 home run mark from the 2019 rookie season, and new acquisition A.J. Pollock matches his .892 OPS from last season to give the White Sox the best outfield in the majors. Meanwhile, Giolito and Cease are Cy Young contenders. It's World Series or bust for the White Sox. In this October, they don't bust as Tony La Russa becomes the first manager in baseball history to win the World Series with 3 different teams. Weaknesses.
What was the other one?
Hmm?
Cardinals and who else?
I don't know.
I
That's
have
your
no idea.
field. Athletics?
No, maybe I don't know.
Mass, find out who Tony La Russa won a World Series with besides the Cardinals. Weaknesses. The position group is heavy with star power, augmented by the late spring training deal that brought A.J. Pollock, but that trade weakened a rapidly thinning bullpen. With Craig Kimbrell going to the Dodgers, on the very same day the club said hard-throwing lefty Garrett Crochet was likely headed for Tommy John, and the offseason addition of Joe Kelly is still working his way back from a bicep problem suffered during last season's playoffs. After that are a lot of just guys, some of whom need to become dudes because there is a long way to go before the playoffs. Most likely 2022 award winner, Lucas Giolito had the highest ERA among qualified starters in 2018. Since then, top 8% in innings pitched, top 25% in strikeout to walk ratio, top 18% in ERA. Giolito induces swings and misses, limits home runs, and consistently takes his turn. Many are expecting another big step forward in 2022, while on a dominant team in a relatively inferior division, he's a popular, if not favorite, Cy Young pick for that reason. And one realistic, bold prediction. Assuming Lance Lynn's knee injury doesn't keep him sidelined for more than 3 starts, Lucas Giolito, Dylan Cease, Michael Kopech, and Lance Lynn will match the 2018 Cleveland Indians as the only teams in history with 4 200 strikeout starting pitchers. Thoughts? Kyle.
I'm listening.
Well, I stopped talking.
Letting them go first.
I'll go first. I think
I want Kyle to go first. No, go ahead.
I think the prediction to see Chicago in the World Series is not an overthought or at all. I think for a lot of MLB teams, when they kind of whatever the level of success, there seems to be like a peak, and I don't think Chicago's at that peak yet. I think it's close. I think we're looking at these next 2 seasons as kind of as the boom or bust time. I don't think it's already passed. I think the loss of Kimbrel is not really that big of a deal. They feel like it was worth mentioning. He's a namesake. That's all it is. His days of being super dominant are far behind him. There's a lot of guys I like.
Wasn't he like the most dominant bullpen guy before he got traded to the White Sox last year? Wasn't he having like Kyle? Wasn't Kimbrel having like a Hall of Fame season last year before he got traded?
Yep.
I think he only gave up like 1 run.
Probably have more than one.
Or 1 home run. Sorry, 1 home run. I think it was.
So,
but still,
I think
the Kimbrel experiment it didn't work. But when you have when they said when Garrett Crochet is going to have Tommy John and Joe Kelly still hurt, losing Kimbrel just makes it that much thinner.
Yeah. I mean, the lineup. There's guys that are significant.
At the lineup right now?
I am.
Who are you?
I like AJ Pollock. I always have. Serviceable guy.
Never heard you mention him on the show. Never heard you bring up AJ Pollock on the show.
Because of Rihanna.
Sounds like you're just kissing some ass cheeks.
No, Josh Harrison.
Yes, Matt.
He won it in 1989 as the manager of the A's, where they swept the Giants.
Told you.
I just didn't know.
You don't have to get defensive. It's just I'm better at disc golf than you, and baseball.
So the formula is already in place. Sometimes it's just shaking up what the pieces are. I think they're doing all the right things, and I think it's a team that could be.
My big takeaway from the thing, I just don't agree with that this is World Series or bust for the White Sox. The reason I say is I think if they do, I don't think the expectation of the White Sox are a World Series bound team is real because they've made it to the postseason twice in this kind of World Series era thing that we're entering for them, and they floundered in the first round both times. They didn't really look like a World Series bound team against the Astros, and they lost in the wild card round to the A's 2 years ago. So I don't think that they're a World Series lock in or even a favorite at this point. I mean, I think when you look at it from the AL standpoint, the Astros the Astros for the second year in a row look like they got worse, but for me, it's just until the Astros don't do it, the Astros are a favorite. The Yankees are always going to be a favorite. The Rays are going to be a favorite. The Red Sox are going to be a favorite. And the Blue Jays got a lot better. Plus, a lot of, 3 of the 4 teams in their division got a lot better. They added, 2 of those teams added, future Hall of Fame shortstops. So, right. I don't agree with them being, but I don't think it's World Series or bust. Now, I do think that if the White Sox continue to flounder, I do think that you're going to see the White Sox decide that they're going to move on from Jose Abreu. I think that's going to happen either way. Because they're running into a problem now where they have a lot of promising young talent that isn't really fitting certain needs. Because of Jose Abreu's presence at first base, not being a bad first baseman defensively, Andrew Vaughn and Gavin Sheets they're having trouble finding places for these young guys that are MLB, quote unquote, MLB ready. So I think that move could happen. I also think the move from Yoan Moncada could be coming if this doesn't work out for them this year. If they can't get to at least the ALCS, then maybe the move from Yoan Moncada, depending on how his season goes. Lucas Giolito just went into arbitration. That could be something. They definitely could take a step back, but they're going to have the core of Robert, Jimenez, and Anderson for years to come. That core is not going anywhere. And I think as long as you have that core, albeit healthy, it automatically makes you in the mix for that division. Because all 3 of those guys have the potential, all 3 of those guys can put up 20-plus home runs. All 3 of those guys can bat somewhere in the 270s and higher. All of those guys can swing for power. All of those guys can swing for contact. So I don't think that it's World Series or bust. I think the bullpen will be okay. They kind of just always find a way to make the bullpen work. It was a little shaky last year. I think the biggest weakness is not a weakness. It's just a what if. now that they lost Carlos Rodon, what are they going to get from Dylan Cease? If Dylan Cease can't take the next step, then the White Sox are going to be in big trouble. Because Dylan Cease just went from being their 5 to likely being their 3. They still have Keuchel, but Keuchel had a bad year last year. And, you know, you can, when you're a pitch to contact guy, you're going to have blow up games from time to time because people are putting the ball in play. And so, you know, when you're a pitch to contact guy versus a strikeout guy, when you're slightly off as a pitch to contact guy, it's the result is runs. When you're slightly off as a strikeout guy, it's just more balls in play. When Chris Sale is slightly off, it just means more ground balls and fly balls versus the strikeouts. Garrett Cole, etc. But when someone like Keuchel is slightly off, it results in runs because his whole mantra is putting the ball low and letting the fielders do the work. I think the addition of Josh Harrison helps too. I think Josh Harrison, you know, second baseman, they pretty much came out and said, because like you said it with Segura or Reese as the 7 guy. The White Sox, like, I mean, it's gonna be Tim, most likely like Moncada, or sorry, it's gonna be Tim, Anderson, Robert, Abreu, Jimenez, Grandal, you know, whoever's playing DH, whether it be Sheets or Vaughn, AJ Pollock, Josh Harrison's gonna be our 8 hitter. I can name 100 worse 8 hitters we've had in my lifetime. So I'm not bummed about Josh Harrison being my 8 hitter. Josh Harrison might be our 9 hitter, actually. I'm trying to think of it. Josh Harrison might be our 9 hitter.
He could be 2 or 9.
He won't be 2. Robert will be 2. Robert will be 2 because he's got pop in his bat and he's too fast. I mean, you think about it. If Robert hits one that's just slightly in the gap, not even in the gap, but like slightly in the gap with Tim on first, you got runners at the corner. You know what I mean? You have runners at the corners because Tim's fast.
Pollock will probably be 9.
Who has more on base percentage? Pollock or like who's better at getting on base? Pollock or Harrison?
I saw the stats yesterday. Pollock had a good year last year.
But just in your opinion, like who?
Pollock.
If you needed like
And
someone,
Pollock was a leadoff hitter at one point.
right? So then Pollock will probably hit 9 to put someone on base for Anderson.
Yeah.
So that's my take on it. Do you have anything you want to say about the White Sox, Scott?
The only thing that scares me is the rotation.
It's either going to be really good or mediocre.
Because Giolito last year struggled a lot.
He didn't struggle a lot. I don't like that term. Giolito last year. Giolito thing was when he was having a bad game, he had trouble shrugging it off after an inning. Like if he had a bad first, he was having a bad 4. Like he couldn't shake off a bad inning and then come back and do the next 4 innings. You know, you see that a lot. That was his problem last year. I don't know if I attest it to. I personally attest it more to the White Sox, you know, deciding last year that we're not going to play games anymore with the whole Giolito wanting a certain catcher thing. We're getting rid of McCann. We're letting him walk. Grandal's our guy. We put this money into Grandal. He's our guy. So I think coming into this year, I think a lot of Giolito's struggles were, I think, Grandal versus McCann. Not that Grandal's a bad catcher. It's just, you know, like McCann and Giolito had that, you know, McCann was the catcher for Giolito's no-hitter. You know, they just had that spark together. I think now that they've played a season together and have had a spring training together and they've done off-season work together, I think that you'll see less of that. The question is less about if Dylan Cease can take a major step forward and more if Keuchel can bounce back. If Keuchel has a year like he had last year, the White Sox are going to be in big trouble.
Because, like, from what, like, I know Crochet is getting Tommy John.
Right. But he wasn't a starter.
But all that really means to me is that Kopech is going to go back into the bullpen.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, not at all. Why would Kopech go back into the bullpen? Kopech, first of all, they can't afford to put Kopech in the bullpen with having Lance Lynn out for.
No, I'm just saying, like,
Kopech's not going to the bullpen.
I'm just saying, like, it would have made sense because, like, he has a big arm in the back end. So it would have helped him in the back end. But they still got Joe Kelly. They still got Aaron Bummer. They got Liam Hendricks.
Well, the problem, too, though, is that like, Kopech has kind of showed, like, after, like, last year, like, Kopech has the ability to pitch 5 innings with, 11 strikeouts in 5 innings. You know what I mean? Like, he has that ability to do that. And yes, you want big outs late in the game, but that's why you paid Liam Hendricks all this money. That's why you have Aaron Bummer. That's why you brought in Joe Kelly. Like, you need someone, you would much rather you'd much rather have to go to those guys up 4-0 than have to go to Michael Kopech up 4-3. I think Kopech's a starter. I don't think Kopech does any bullpen sessions. I think he's a straight up starter, especially because Lance Lynn's going to miss some time. Lance Lynn's going to be fine. I think Lance Lynn's going to do Lance Lynn things. I think Giolito will be fine. He might have some rough starts and stuff, but I think he'll be fine. Dylan Cease is going to need to kind of take that next step, and Keuchel's going to need. If Keuchel can bounce back, then they have a solid 5-man rotation.
Who would be the 5? Lopez?
Kopech. It'd be Cease, Lynn, Kopech, Keuchel, and Giolito.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Lopez will probably be the 5 while Lynn's out. But if when he comes back healthy, if Keuchel can be back to the form that he was at when they first brought him in from the Astros. Yeah, from the Astros in the COVID season. Because he pitched very well in the COVID season. If he can get back to that form, that could be potentially the scariest starting 5 in baseball. Because they have the ability to completely shut you down. Because, like, Giolito doesn't give up a lot of home runs. Lance Lynn doesn't give up a crazy amount of home runs. Cease will give up the long ball. But Cease will also annoy you to death in the process of doing it. You might hit the home run on him, but it doesn't feel like the same home run because you did it in seven pitches, but 7 pitches where he fooled you like an animal twice. He threw a curveball that makes you look like an idiot. So, the starting rotation is the weakness, especially with Lance Lynn missing some time.
With Lance Lynn being out right now, they're saying Lopez is the 5.
And that's what I would imagine. Lopez would be the 5. I think if Garrett Crochet didn't get hurt, they might dance around. They might flirt with him being the 5 a couple times to see what he has in the tank as just like as a starter. Because there was a lot of speculation. Garrett Crochet and Michael Kopech.
Oh, you got Vince Velasquez.
Yeah, but he's not a starter.
He sucks.
Maybe just need to change scenery.
He had one. Went to the Padres.
Yeah, but maybe he needs a real change of scenery.
That guy gave us one of the coolest plays we've seen.
Yeah, true.
I don't care about it. It wasn't that impressive.
Threw it lefty.
What's your point?
Which is cool.
Eagle McMahon taught himself how to play disc golf lefty.
Is he a lefty?
No. He hurt his right hand,
No.
and he just learned how to throw lefty in like 3 months.
Fuck that guy. Fuck Calvin Heimberg, too.
Guy throws too many rollers.
Who?
Eagle McMahon. All right. So we got about because we did start late, so we got a little less than a half hour to go. Is there any other team anybody wants to? Well, let's read the worst team, and then if anybody wants any other team, we can talk about it. So, Baltimore Orioles.
God, the poor Orioles.
Projected record 58-104 with a 0.2% playoff chance. If everything goes right, Cedric Mullins builds on his all-star season. Adley Rutschman and Grayson Rodriguez establish themselves as future stars. The pitching staff, which had a 5.84 ERA in 2021, lowers its ERA by a run a game thanks to the fences getting moved back at Camden Yards, and the Orioles win 70 games.
That's fair.
Weaknesses that could stop them. In truth, the Orioles still have too many shortcomings to isolate just one. Since the Orioles lost the 2016 AL wildcard game, they've dropped 104 in every 162 games they played. With a rebuild long more than a half a decade, the bad news is that the 2022 season just looks like one more of those rebuild years. The perception will only grow if productive veterans like John Means and Cedric Mullins are dealt. What would halt the creeping nihilism? I don't even know what this word is. Nihilism? Nihilism?
Siri computer.
Is any hint that the future really will get better. Bright stars from the Rutschman and Rodriguez would help. Most likely award winner, Rutschman, the number 1 overall pick in 2019, entered the season as the industry's number 1 prospect by most major outlets. He's already 24 and is extremely polished in every facet, bringing plus arm strength and defensive skills. Even after tricep strain set him back in spring training, Rutschman is expected to be a major contender for the Orioles this season. If you're looking for an AL Rookie of the Year pick, it's hard to go wrong with him. One realistic bold prediction, the Orioles are moving the left field fence back to 26.5 feet. but that won't affect Mullins, who pulled all 30 of his home runs in 2021 to right field or right center. He goes 30-30 again, making him the first player with consecutive 30-30 seasons since Ryan Braun in the 2011-2012 seasons.
Quick side note: Ryan Braun is Mock's favorite baseball player.
I was just gonna say, it's funny. I thought Kendall was gonna say the same thing. I was like, just real quick, fuck Ryan Braun.
Poor Baltimore, because here's the thing: like they have like really good players. They do. Like Trey Mancini, the guy can rake. Mullins, as of last year, kind of came into his own.
Does anybody else hate when Kendall uses like slang lingo for
Sorry.
anything at all?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, the guy can rake.
Like
when you say stuff like that, I just assume there's going to be like a leaf joke after it or something.
that sounded more vacuum, shop vac.
Guy made a pile of leaves and fucking jumped in it.
I don't know what that was.
I don't know.
You use a rake to make a pile of leaves. You don't even get your own joke?
I get it. I didn't make that joke.
Yes, you did. Mark said it, but you thought of it.
But they're just bad. And been bad for a long time. And I don't know. That report kind of mentioned like dealing people. And I wonder, it's crappy. It's like you want to fill seats, but when does the rebuild pay off? What do you do?
Well, I think they figured out a way to fill seats. They're moving the outfield wall back 26.5 feet. That's a good way to not have to, to help the sellout.
Right.
Helps the attendance percentage.
Yeah. All right. Is that it?
Yeah, no,
Do they still have Chris Davis?
He retired.
Oh, bummer.
Let's move to the other side. We'll go to the Dodgers. Projected record 101-61 with a 99.9% playoff odd. If everything goes right, they become the first National League team since 1930 to score 1,000 runs in a season, as Trey Turner, Freddie Freeman, and Mookie Betts each hit 300, while Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy, and Cody Bellinger each top 30 home runs. They win the most games, 110, by an NL team in more than a century, as Walker Buehler and Julio Urias both win 20 games. They go 11-0 in the postseason and win their second World Series title in 3 seasons. I mean, I think that like when you're talking about the Dodgers, if everything goes right, it's got to be pretty much everything, right? It's got to be like they have the perfect season. Weaknesses. There are 2 cop-out answers you can make for any team. One is randomness, and the other is spate of injuries to a team's rotation. For the Dodgers, we'll take the latter, as they are such a complete team that in a 12-team playoff universe, it's really hard to design a scenario in which they don't make it to October baseball. Once there, however, if Dave Roberts is struggling to fill innings, which happened to some extent in last year's playoffs, then that can be the ship that sinks the Dodgers. Most likely 2022 award winners. When Walker Buehler was named the Dodgers' opening day starter this spring, it was seen as a symbolic passing of the torch of Buehler overtaking Clayton Kershaw as the predominant ace of the Dodgers. He has certainly earned it. Over the past 4 years, Buehler has established himself as one of the game's best pitchers, both during the regular season and in high-stakes matchups throughout October. Last year, when he finished 4th in NL Cy Young Award voting, Buehler surpassed 200 regular season innings for the first time. He said he learned a lot about himself through that, and he seems ready to take that another step forward for an elite team. And one realistic bold prediction, let's stick to that. The Dodgers do score 1,000 runs, and they do win 110 games, and they do win the World Series in 5 games over the Rays. Thoughts?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that's pretty much very on point.
I think my biggest takeaway from it is that do you really think the Rays go back to the World Series this year?
Yeah, screw the Dodgers.
You think the Rays go to the World Series?
And yes.
Who did the Braves beat last year in the World Series?
Astros.
Astros. So. You think the Rays go to the World Series?
I do.
All right.
No.
No, I don't think so.
I look at the Dodgers and really, I think, Paul, you kind of said it in the spiel there, was that it's going to have to be like a self-implosion somehow. I mean, they're a fucking fantasy team.
They're going to have to get bit with COVID a lot.
But or just have to be like, hey, they got COVID in fucking October. They're like a fantasy team where someone cheated the draft. It's unbelievable.
It's like annoying.
Do you think the Dodgers win the World Series this year?
No.
You think it's too good to be true?
I don't think their pitching's that good.
Okay.
I think the rotation is I mean, Kershaw's older. He's not the same Kershaw. Urias has to prove it to me at least one more year before I can trust
That's
him.
why he's out there. He's proven you.
Walker Buehler's good, but
Mom.
Trevor Bauer, who the fuck knows if he even plays?
Mom, I can't come home. Souls needs me. Do it for the tamales, serious.
But yeah,
There was a curveball in the dirt.
Go, do you think the Dodgers are going to win the World Series this year?
I don't, you know,
No, no, I don't want any of that bullshit. Do you think they're going to win the World Series?
I was alluding to, yes. I think that I don't see how you beat them. I mean, nothing short of injuries. Like, yes, Kyle, I agree with you saying, like, you know, Urias prove it, and the pitching is not as good as it once was. But I mean, it's kind of like the Phillies
These are
thing.
their Toby Keith.
It's the Phillies thing. You know, if we hit, you know, we have 10 runs and we give up 9, we still win. And I kind of see a similar thing with their lineup. Like, you know, Kershaw, he's still got, you know, I'm sure he's at a quarter of a tank, but it's enough.
and Bellinger's batting 130.
I fucking hate Toby Keith.
I mean, Bellinger, yeah, if he can turn it around. Otherwise, it's just
His
like,
swing is so broken.
I think that this is the year. If he repeats a bad year, well, then it's over for him. But, you know,
Mark, you think the Dodgers win the World Series?
No,
Reason?
I don't want them to.
All right. Well, the Red Sox kind of put that to bed for you several times in the past 2 decades. So another
Yep.
reason.
No, I mean it's the
Also,
same
7
way-
Patriots Super Bowls and 1 Tampa, or six Tom Brady rings in New England and 1 in Tampa Bay. So you got to come up with a different reason because you not wanting a team seems like it makes them win.
that's why.
I don't know. It's Kyle kind of alluded
That's a
to it,
bad
where
joke.
it's just too much on one time. I don't know. I mean, if they win, it's not like I'd be like, "Wow, where'd they pull that out of?" But it's tough when
I think I get what you're
there's
trying to
so
say.
much star power.
I think what you're trying to say is they're a team where the only thing they can do is disappoint.
Yeah,
They can't overachieve. They can't even meet expectation. They can only disappoint. And a lot of times, when all you can do is disappoint, you disappoint. The 17-0 Patriots. It's a good example. You know, you look at other ones. I mean, we've seen it in the past with like NBA teams. You know, I mean, like the big 3 in Miami. Year 1, most dominant team we've seen in a long time, loses to maybe the least star-studded team we've ever seen win an NBA championship in those Dallas Mavericks. Like when all you can do is disappoint, the disappointing kind of pokes through. All right.
I mean, really, what's the what would overachieving? Did they just fucking go undefeated?
Well, I think that's it. I mean, like
You know what? Like,
overachieving for them would be like 100 and what's the record for wins in a season?
119.
120. That's overachieving. 120
no one's
wins.
gotten 120 before.
I don't think so.
Who hold the record? The Mariners?
Yeah.
I was just I know it was a man. I thought the Mariners hit 120, but maybe it was 119.
That's like ridiculous even still though. That's going 120 and 42. I'd like to see the White Sox do that. The problem is all 42 losses would be to the Twins.
The best record of all time is 116 and 36.
We were all.
Oh, like percentage wise?
Yeah, but like the Mariners were 116 and 46 when they.
So 116. So worst winning percentage, but
Yeah.
okay. So 116 games. So 117. 117 would be like overachieving. I mean, really. I mean, for me, with all the talent they have, it would have to be setting the record for most wins in the season. I can't think of anything else.
Yeah, I agree.
Every time I look up, Massey's like there, and then when I look back, he's not there. Then when I look back up, he is there. You guys think Massey's Slender Man?
He might be.
Massey, give us your best Slender Man.
He's also Earthworm Jim.
Do you think I'm what?
Slender
I'm
Man.
a big fan of the neck pillow in the computer chair.
That's his masturbation pillow, so he can see the
I was
TV.
gonna say
still.
that guy is so ready to crank one off.
All right. So real quick before we sign off, We'll get to last thoughts, and then I'll give my introduction, because I give that to everybody but Mock, so I might as well give it to him on the show so you guys can all get his reaction, because he's the one who's going to like it the least. Everybody else has been briefed except for Mock.
Dun, dun, dun.
Or Mock.
But he's going to be the one that hates it the most, so.
Oh, yeah.
Real quick, let's run down our Set It and Forget It League teams. We'll start with Rebecca's team. Will Smith at catcher, Goldschmidt, Turner, Mondesi, and Bogarts on the infield, Betts, Alvarez, and Arizarena in the outfield, with Chisholm and Haniger as the utility spots, with Witt, Winker, Suzuki, and Bell on the benches. Scherzer, Bieber, Chapman, Gallagher, Urias, Musgrove, Webb, Cease, Kershaw, and Lopez on the bench. I'm just going to let this one be to Kyle. Just going to let Kyle rip through this. Thoughts? Prediction on placed finish?
Third.
Third? Auto draft teams always do okay.
Yep.
All right. Let's move on to Chris's swag team. Contreras at catcher with Riley, Marte, Ramirez, and Anderson rounding out the infield. Tucker, O'Neill, and Stanton in the outfield. Machado and Story at the utility spots with Polanco, Reyes, Cronenworth, and Grisham on the bench. Bueller, Giolito, Diaz, Romano, Alcantara, Lynn, Gossman, Darvish, Rodon, and Anderson on the pitching staff.
I want to say like that's a fourth or fifth place team, but they'll probably finish in first.
Well, the problem for him is that with Set It and Forget It, he's got a lot of guys that are day to day at this point in time, and unfortunately, all of them play for the White Sox. Let's go on to Mike Mock's team.
Yeah.
Piece of fucking hot shit garbage at catcher. Chris Bryant, Albies, Devers, and Seager at the infield. Soto, Judge, and Jimenez in the outfield. Lowe and Reynolds on the utility spot with Bregman, Hoskins, Edman, and Bellinger, and Mountcastle on the bench. With Cole, Ray, Jansen, Evil Knievel, Wheeler, Morton, Freed, McClanahan, and Bassett on the rotations.
He's going to get second place.
All right.
Who's the catcher?
Perez.
Hot garbage.
I know, Kyle. Thanks for ruining that.
Kendall's team. Varsho behind the plate with Alonso, Semien, Arenado, and Bichette in the infield. Starling Marte, Merrifield, and Mullins in the outfield with Springer and Martinez in the utility spots with India, Walsh, Swanson, and Meadows on the bench. Burns, Woodruff, Hader, Iglesias, Montas, Presley, Mal, Valdez, Evaldi, and Rodriguez in the rotation.
It's hard to fucking pick where we're all going to place.
Well, just do it, and who cares? We're never going to call back to it. We don't call back to anything.
Kendall will be a second, fighting for second and third, but going to end up in fifth.
So far, everybody's third.
Yep.
A very tragic 2 games to end the season.
Paul's perfect team. Realmuto behind the plate. Freeman, Baez, Rendon, and Carrera on the infield. Robert, Hernandez, Teoscar, and Yelich on the outfield with Otani, Olsen on the utility spots. Abreu, Schwarber, Nelson Cruz, CJ Cron, and Yoan Moncada on the bench. Nola, Peralta, Hendricks, Kopech, Verlander, Minaya, Snell, Syndergaard, and Gilbert on the rotation.
You know, I wanted Verlander, but I picked fucking Trevor Rogers by accident.
Paul,
What?
you'll find this as a treat.
What's up?
Let's see if I can get that to focus a little bit better.
I don't know who number 31
Oh
is.
my god.
Is that yours?
No, it's on Twitter. Somebody found it in storage.
Can you ask them how much it'll cost?
I could just buy one if I wanted to.
Yeah, but that person bought it.
I think we should all chip in and get him one for Christmas.
I don't.
We should like knock Massey out and get it tattooed on his back.
Oh.
Finnegan.
Full-size jersey.
At least do Chris Long if you're going to do that.
No, that would defeat the purpose of doing it.
I still don't want a full back tattoo.
No, you're getting it, and then at the same time, because Kendall will be so pissed drunk because we had to get you that drunk, Kendall will be passed out, and we're going to get a fucking Eric Weems on his back.
Ugh.
Nice.
Souls?
Top 3 team in the league.
Cool, so nobody's finishing last so far. Kyle Souls' team.
Last.
Yasmani Grandal behind the plate with Guerrero, Altuve, Franco, and Lindor on the infield. Harper, Trout, and Acuna Jr. in the outfield. Castellanos, Buxton utilities with Tatis Jr., Muncy, and LeMahieu on the bench. Barrios, Rogers, Clace, Kimbrel, Otani pitcher. Manoa, Gray, DeGrom, Gallen, Stroman, and Means on the pitching staff.
I'll finish in last.
I believe you.
I mean, you got a lot of guys that are going to be hurt.
Yeah, but those guys are on the bench.
You have a lot of guys that are... The bench points count.
No, I know, but those guys.
Yeah, those guys, they're going to be on the bench.
I'm really hoping for a late push.
All right, so based off of your memory of the teams, really give it 1 through 6. Don't just everybody's third. If you had to pick.
It's going to go Ball,
Nice. I'm going to finish in 5th.
Kenny Omega,
Because he said I was going to be the worst NBA team. I finished in 2nd. So far.
Mock, Massey, Rebecca, me.
All right. Low expectations?
Yeah.
I like how you transitioned your usual Phillies feel into fantasy. And you brought your fantasy feel to the real Phillies.
I was the one guy that he said, you'll finish in 2nd, and then he had me finish in 3rd.
I said 2nd or 3rd.
He told me 2nd. Everyone
Yeah,
else was 2nd or 3rd.
He texted me 3rd.
All right, fine. Paul, Mock, Kendall.
You told me 4th.
You got 4th.
I thought I broke my license in half.
I came in last.
So, hey guys, what did Pat McAfee do last night that was so entertaining?
Just everything. Was he? So he had a pretty decent match against a WWE superstar. I mean, he trains and he was in NXT and stuff, so like he's got ring experience. But he had a good, so he was on the top turnbuckle, which is 5 feet up, maybe.
Yeah.
He was up on the top of it, and he just did a standing backflip off of it and stuck the landing without moving.
Tigers,
pretty cool.
Tigers just acquired Austin Meadows.
Huh?
The Tigers just acquired Austin Meadows.
Cool. He also did a pretty dope Swanton Bomb, and just had a good match.
Yeah.
Oh, he got stuttered by Stone Cold.
Yeah, he sold it pretty well too.
He also probably loved every minute of it.
Oh my god, the picture, the group chat picture is. I petition that picture never change. Did you see the new group picture, Mass? That was a close up of him after the match, after he got stunned. It was so good.
Is he just laying on the floor drinking beer?
Yeah, after he got started, he rolled out of the ring. Stone Cold gave him another beer, and he was just pouring it in his mouth. He definitely does not remember last night. He got so fucked up.
Roman Reigns tore his tricep.
Yeah, I saw that actually. Wonder if that's why the match got cut short.
That's what people are saying.
Seems
Done
weird though to cut it
minutes.
short and have him win if he's going to be hurt. Anyway, so we got some stuff coming up on the show. Before we get to our beer reviews and such, I know. So, we'll probably try to flip the script and maybe do. Well, I don't know if we're gonna be able to do a live show, or in-person show next week, due to everything going on with Kyle. But Massey has a trivia game for our next in-person show, whenever we decide that might be. Hopefully next week, because this week kind of worked out where we had a informal show. But Massey has a trivia game. We
all have to be here on the 25th.
We all have to be here on the 25th. I don't know what that is. Oh, the draft.
Yeah.
The NFL draft is coming up. We'll be doing our live mock draft.
Yeah.
And then we'll do some other fun stuff. And then we have something being planned, which I have no problem spoiling it because I want everyone to be as miserable as they can be about it. The only person who's happy about it is Kendall.
Yes.
Mock, this is Mock's first time hearing about it.
That I am.
So, and then I have another show that only Kendall knows about that everyone's going to hate. So, Mock, you ready?
Yep.
So we're going to do a show coming up in probably like 6 to 8 weeks time, because it takes some time to plan and procure things, but it's also got to be like we got to plan it out to make sure everyone's going to be here. We're going to play a show where we're going to play five mini games, and the results of each mini game will award you points. At the end of all the mini games, you will then use your points to spend on products like those Facebook things you see where it's like, oh, you have $25 to make your own, your starting lineup in basketball or whatever. You will then spend those points on categories that were to make a cocktail, and then we will make a cocktail for each of us of the things that you bought with your points. 5 being good stuff, 1 being not so good stuff. And you will have the ability to choose what goes in your cocktail. And it will be gross.
So, better do good in those games.
The better you do, the more top-end stuff you can pick. Massey tried to find a loophole, already fixed it.
I wasn't trying to find a loophole. I was trying to help you fix the loophole.
If I get 6 points, can I spend 5 points on something good and 1 point on something bad?
Well,
Yes,
no.
but then I fill it with other stuff. And then each of you will be allotted, when we finally finalize the show, the week of the show is going to be, you will all be allotted 1 item that you can choose of alcohol or non-alcohol stature that you wish to be completely omitted from category so that there's no chance you get stuck with it. Example being, I imagine Mike Mock will eliminate tuna fish.
Yes. I'm trying to think if there's anything I can really think of that would outweigh that. I'm coming up blank.
Mayonnaise.
Big question.
Tell you what, mayonnaise might be a good one to eliminate because I cannot get room temperature mayonnaise out of my head for one of the things. So.
Question.
Yes.
Was WrestleMania in Dallas last night?
Yes.
Gross.
And
Stars everywhere.
everything for that will be liquid, too. I will make sure it's all liquid, so there's no chunkiness. Then another show we're going to do is we're going to see, it's not going to be mandatory that it be drank, but it will be an option. The return of the Thanksgiving shot. We're going to play a game that has wheel spinning activity to it. One of the slots will be a Thanksgiving shot. On that wheel will also be a slot for every other holiday having its own shot. I've already come up with one, the New Year's Eve shot. A pizza roll, a pig in a blanket, a cheese, pepperoni, and cracker combo, a little bit of some sort of bean dip, and then champagne all blended together.
Super stoked for that.
But there's a solid chance you don't have to drink any of them. But there is the chance you do have to try it.
Can we just have that stuff on the show anyways?
You want the New Year's shot? Oh, like you want to just have pizza rolls?
Yeah.
You can have them, but they're going to be liquid.
A nice puree.
Come on, man. You don't want some sparkling tomato?
I'll take that chance.
Yeah, so that's all I got. Anybody have any closing remarks? If they'd like to, anything?
I do have a kind of a funny WrestleMania story. Because I was subjected to basically 70 hours of wrestling this weekend. And I thought, hey, I'm finally going to drink those Heineken Lights. And did pretty good. I drank all 12. I'm like, man, I'm really on my game. I'm doing really well. I finished the last beer. I took a look. Found out they were 3%. I was very disappointed to find that out.
And then he stood up, fell over, pissed himself. Mass, closing remarks?
I want to die.
Excellent. Mock?
I got nothing.
Souls?
I want Master to die.
That's not nice.
My closing remark would just be baseball's back, baby.
You also didn't buy my beer. You made Paul get it. That made me get it.
Well, Kyle, do you really want me to come down and give you COVID to give you beer?
I'm not really worried about
No, but what's funny is I made Kyle buy his own beer.
Because the card was in the card the entire
Yeah, I couldn't find my debit card. It was in my pocket. Tell you what, though.
That's very funny.
Package store was a good place to go tonight.
Yeah?
Yep.
Always a good place.
Real solid stuff in that store.
What kind of solid stuff?
Redhead.
The solid stuff. All right, cat's out of the bag on that one. Beer reviews, Souls. How was your Trogs Blizzard?
It was a solid beer, man. It wasn't too crazy. It's not too hoppy or too strong.
It wasn't too beery.
I mean, it's gonna be a lot better than what we have in Philadelphia in the next couple of weeks, days.
It is spit all over the microphone.
That could be foreseen to be because depends on how intoxicated Paul is in public. Because Paul likes to spend money in public.
I like that.
I know you do. It's not going to be on you.
It
Look,
might be.
I'm not going to buy you stuff. I'm going to buy bottle service. What's the most ridiculous thing you have? We can't get rid of these bottles of coffee Jägermeister. We'll take 3.
I spritz, fingers crossed.
Shut up. You're going to get Bobby Abreu wine, and you're gonna get 40 bottles of
Oh, we should look at like local liquor stores.
it. You should look in local liquor stores.
All right, I will.
Liquor stores. You can do that when we go disc golfing.
No.
Why you don't go anyway?
Not true. I've been out.
I am. Yeah, Kendall went out. Kendall went disc golfing without us.
Yeah, take that.
Well, that actually checks out.
I'm super pumped to get fucked up at that course, though. I'm gonna get real drunk, and then not be able to stay awake for the 3rd inning of the game.
I should start lining my my bag full of aluminum foil tonight
Why?
What?
to refrigerate it.
I don't need it to be cold.
All right, works for me.
I, as long as like the first 3 are cold, everything after that can
I
be
want
warm.
Mock to have 4 shots at the course of what I choose.
Well, that's not happening. So
Why not?
'cause I don't want to play that game with him.
But it's not going to be bad, I promise. I'll
What if
make
you-
Don't care.
Tell him what it is now.
What's your favorite shot?
Fireball, Jack Fire.
I'll get you 4 things to Jack Fire.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Come on, you can do shots at the course, and you can just throw the nips on the ground. No one's gonna care.
We'll have them together.
What's the worst
Take
that's gonna
out
happen?
what
It's
you
gonna
bring
bounce
in.
off the heroin needle.
Bring out what you bring in.
Oh man, I dropped my nip in this full cheesesteak someone dropped. Oh man, and that cheesesteak is wrapped in a Kyle Schwarber shirtsy that says he already sucks.
There's got to be like a cheesesteak in the the hotel, right?
I mean, like no, like when you get to the hotel, there will not be a cheesesteak in the
Well,
hotel.
I think the bed might be made of one.
Like
Instead of
the,
Andy's Mints, they just put a cheesesteak.
like the casino probably has like
Well, if it's Philadelphia, they're not going to give you a cheesesteak. Instead of an Andy Smith, there's going to be somebody in the room stabbing you. Welcome to the hotel. Fuck you.
Pat trying so hard.
I hope it happens. I really do. I hope it happens, and I hope it's miserable for him. I hope he gets a lot of phone calls. I hope it's a real problem, and his just response every time is, "Well, I can't get home." Kendall, beer review.
I had.
Prove it.
We're all in agreement that if Kyle guilt trips him enough, it will happen.
Oh yeah.
So, Kyle, fucking man up, man.
I don't want to do that to him.
Why?
He's a kid.
So
What are we guilt tripping him for?
to go to Kyle's thing. Because he just, his wife or his fiance just gave birth, yesterday, and we leave on
Pat.
Friday.
Sorry, I thought we were guilting Kendall in.
You're not the guilt trip Kendall on anything.
He's coming.
I had the
Kendall,
winter.
you don't have to guilt. Kendall, can you do this? And then he'll do it. It just, he's going to have to bring Rebecca with him because he's a full-time babysitter.
That's right.
He's so mad right now,
The winter IPA from Peak Organic Brewing Company.
which may or may not have alcohol in it.
The website says it's 6.2%. The can nor box says anything about the ABV, so I have no idea if the website's lying.
Did
But
you check to see if they make a non-alcoholic version of it?
I scrolled to the website. I didn't find anything
Don't
different.
scroll now. Just give the review.
I enjoyed it. It was, fairly juicy. Souls, you might enjoy this. Standard, but a lot of IPAs I've had recently, this actually kind of stood out for whatever reason. I don't know if it was the organic components. It probably wasn't.
It was a very aggressive thing you just did.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was going to be funnier. I give this 3.8 out of 5 stars. Would get again.
Mock said you're exclusively not funny.
Oh.
Massey, how's your how's your water and Metamucil and Alka-Seltzer and all that stuff?
And COVID.
I want to die.
All right, Mock, how was your bud?
Listen, it's old reliable. Does what it's asked to do.
Well, Mark, will you have 4 shots with me at the course?
We'll see.
Will you at least drink a beer at the course?
Yeah.
But, I thought you loved me, man.
Eh.
Wow.
He's never said he loves you.
He said it once.
Nah, he didn't mean it. He told me that he likes you because he's family obligated to. What's your response to that, Kyle?
That's so mean.
I believe it.
I had the Dandelion Haze which the can art's actually pretty cool. It looks like it's made by a 4th grader. It's a bunch of dandelions, but the middle of each dandelion has a lion's face in it. So it's a New England style IPA, dry hopped with Galaxy and Citra hops, 6.7% from the Berkshire Brewing Company out of
Boston, Massachusetts.
Ooh, very close.
Massachusetts.
North Adams, Massachusetts.
What if I told you it was a place where you could go sit and spend your whole day watching something dumb?
Palmer?
Close.
Philadelphia.
Cape Cod.
No, this is for Kendall. You guys aren't going to know this place. What's the other place you go to do that dumb thing in Massachusetts?
I do so many dumb things. Deerfield?
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yep. East Deerfield.
Deerfield's a bad place.
Yeah, it's where the Yankee Candle Factory is. Right, Deerfield?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, it's pretty good. I mean, it is very hazy, kind of hazy to the point where it's more bitter than it is, like, juicy or anything like that. So I'm not sure how you would feel about this one. But I think it's pretty solid. It's got a good color to it. Very cloudy, unfiltered IPA.
Is it purple?
In terms of an IPA, I would say this is probably more towards the top of IPAs that I like. Because I like those New England style and session style, lower ABV IPAs. I don't really care for like the 8 and aboves. I would give this 3.9 out of 5. Would buy again. Hey, Mark.
Yes.
If they liked our beer reviews, where could they hear more of them?
Find us on Facebook at Getting Sports with Drunk, Twitter and Instagram at GSWD_4.
Use the hashtag GSWD for all your daily uses, whether it's watching the first pitch of the season from your favorite team, or if you're feeling like Massey, which is...
I want to die.
It's consistent.
Like, comment, subscribe on Podbean, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify.
I know we've talked a long time about getting a soundboard, but if we do get one, the I Gotta Die it has to be on there. It has to be on there. Anytime someone like shits on your team, you just, I want to die.
I'm available for soundboard.
I want to make one, but Kendall won't do it.
I'll make one.
We've asked you for like 5 years.
But I would want the physical. Like, you can make one online.
So then all right, when have I ever said no to buying something for the show? Find one and tell me how much it is.
All right, we'll look online and see.
All right, you fucking dick.
We'll get some samplers.
You have enough fucking can money, you whore. What else is on the PPRN radio network? Who else has soundboards?
So you can listen to Choreorama.
I'm angry.
That's Sundays at 2. Dilemma Monday and Delay. That's Mondays at 5. It's the Boo Show. That's Thursdays at 7.
Get your pens ready.
Soul's giving a thumbs down. We didn't mean that, right?
You didn't have to like say it on the air.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, like what a dick move, Kendall.
It's the
He
Peter
was just
Pinner
trying to be
Show.
funny, and you like made him out to be like an asshole.
Well,
Hey, Kendall,
yes.
there's a free soundboard that we can install tomorrow.
No, he wants the physical when he can touch the buttons.
You can click the buttons and you'll fucking like it.
No. It's the Boo Show. The Peter Pinner Show, Mondays at 7:30.
Kendall, what's your favorite thing? Free.
I'm a huge fan of how he had to say "It's the Boo Show" to figure out where he left off.
Yes, I was lost.
The Peter Pinner Show.
It's the Boo Show.
It's the Boo Show, and every other Saturday is Mixtape Saturday. We just came off of a great one, so stay tuned for the upcoming lineup.
Lots of fun stuff on the PPRN Radio Network. Every day, live music. But of course, the best thing you can listen to, Getting Sports with Drunk. And, yeah, there you go. There you go. That's it. That's all I got. Make sure to tune into our Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and such, as we will be doing we'll be posting some things from a trip to opening weekend.
The greatest day of my life.
All right. And I like how the bachelor party isn't the greatest day of his life. The wedding isn't the greatest day of his life. Just a baseball game during that thing. And they're going to get rocked.
No, they're not.
Who are they playing?
The A's.
You'll lose. None of your teams can beat Oakland.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is.
Phillies have no problem with Oakland.
Prove it.
I will later.
No, I need it now.
We used to be Oakland.
The Oakland Phillies?
Oakland, or the Philadelphia Athletics.
So you didn't used to be Oakland. Oakland used to be you. Dick.
On par.
Make sure to tune into all the great stuff happening on Getting Sports with Drunk coming up. And until then, I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler.
A mock.
Maytag washable.
Ah.
Nope.
Whirlpool.
I mock Sheen washable.
I want to die mass.
And the Rat of a Red Baron.
COVID.
Meow.
Yeah.
Goodbye, my friends.